So we just spotted an asteroid so massive it could wipe out an entire continent if it ever hit Earth. And it's moving insanely fast, almost record speed. But what makes it really scary is how it's basically playing hide-and-seek with us. It can slip right into the sun's glare and vanish completely. And yeah, it just did it again. It disappeared. So when we finally spot it again, will we have enough time to prepare? Or could it already be too late for humanity? Yeah. Do I have your attention now? Thanks. So meet 2025 SC79. That's a mouthful, so I'll just nickname it Scooby. This newly found asteroid is a sneaky one, the kind that loves hiding in the sun's glare. Think of it as trying to spot a firefly next to a stadium light. The brightness hits your eyes and outshines anything faint nearby. So yeah, you won't see that firefly. Now asteroids hide in the same frustrating way. When they end up close to the sun from our point of view on Earth, the glare overwhelms our telescopes, and the asteroid's dim, reflected light gets lost in it. That's why some asteroids can cruise along in the sun's direction and stay basically invisible to us. And scientists say the most dangerous asteroids, the ones that could wipe out a whole city, are the hardest to detect. That's why astronomers need to somehow dodge the sun's glare. One way they do it is by observing the sky during the short window of twilight. Right before sunrise or just after sunset. And that timing is a big deal, because it's the only way to catch some risky asteroid before it sneaks up on Earth. Scientists say that if one of these so-called twilight asteroids ever gets close to Earth, it could be a serious impact threat. And it was during one of these twilight observing sessions that scientists finally spotted this huge asteroid. It was September 27, 2025. Scott Shepard, an astronomer at a Washington-based institute, was scanning the sky, hunting for anything unusual in our solar system. And he had an incredible tool in his hands, the Dark Energy Camera, or DECAM, one of the most powerful sky survey cameras on Earth, built to spot faint objects across huge areas of the universe. At one point, he spotted a faint dot moving across the image. So he quickly aimed the high-tech camera at it, and things got more interesting. Its movement matched what astronomers expect from asteroids that orbit very close to the Sun. Then, follow-up observations with the Gemini and Magellan telescopes confirmed the discovery. Yes, this really was an asteroid, and there are two particularly curious things about it. First, it's fast, like really fast. In fact, it is the second fastest known asteroid orbit in the solar system. It loops around the Sun once every 128 days. For comparison, Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun, takes 88 days to go around once. Second, its orbit is super rare. This is only the second known object that stays completely inside Venus's orbit. That also puts it in one of the rarest asteroid groups out there, the OSIRIS. These are asteroids whose orbits sit entirely inside Earth's orbit. Astronomers have found only a few of them so far, and Scooby is the 39th one in the list. The team of scientists also figured out that this asteroid is pretty big, measuring about 2,300 feet across. That's roughly the size of Merdeka 118, the second tallest building on Earth. If an asteroid this size ever slammed into Earth, it wouldn't just be bad, it would be catastrophic. We're talking about damage on a continental scale. It would blast a huge crater into the ground, then throw out a shockwave powerful enough to wipe out forests and wreck cities. Seismic waves would ripple through the crust, triggering widespread earthquakes around magnitude 7.4, and people could still feel them about 300 miles away from the strike. And that's not all. A brutal air pressure blast would race outward, shattering windows more than 1,000 miles away. Then comes the aftermath. Dust and debris from the impact could shoot up into the atmosphere, block some sunlight, and mess with our climate. I know, you might feel scared right now, but don't worry about it. Thankfully, Scooby isn't going to do anything like that, because it's not on a collision course with Earth. Right now, the math shows it won't be making any close passes by our planet, at least not anytime soon. Still, there's a lot more to learn about this asteroid, but any further studies will have to wait. For now, it has disappeared behind the Sun and is out of sight. Once it reappears, astronomers will take a closer look and try to learn more about what it's made of. That part really matters, because this asteroid is somehow holding up while orbiting so close to the Sun's brutal heat. You see, this asteroid gets very near to the Sun. At its closest point, this asteroid is blasted with almost 6 times Earth's sunlight. At that distance, its surface could heat up to about 440 degrees Fahrenheit. What scientists don't know yet is how a rock this big can get baked over and over again without falling apart. And there are 2 more things astronomers want to check once it comes back into view: how fast it spins and how bright it looks. Now, by bright, I mean how much sunlight it reflects, because asteroids don't make their own sunlight. They're just big rocky chunks that shine by reflecting sunlight back at us. Anyway, those clues can tell scientists what Scooby is made of. One possibility is that this asteroid is loaded with dense metal, and that could explain how it survives the Sun's brutal heat. And if that turns out to be true, this asteroid could be a relic from when the solar system was just forming. Or maybe it slowly moved closer to the Sun because the gravity of Venus and Mercury gently pulled on it again and again over millions of years. Now, even though SE-79 isn't a real danger to us, and there's still a lot we don't know about it, just finding it is already a big deal. It's a reminder that big asteroids can hide from us. So even in our own cosmic backyard, there are still blind spots where large objects can stay hidden until the right moment of twilight gives them away. And as our detection tech gets better, we keep finding more and more asteroids. By now, scientists have spotted over 1 million in the solar system. They come in all sizes, from monsters like Vesta that measure about 329 miles wide, all the way down to rocks that are smaller than a house. Now, out of all the asteroids we know, about 40,000 are what we call near-Earth asteroids, or NEAs. That just means their orbits bring them close to our neighborhood. Technically, their closest point to the Sun is less than 1.3 times the Earth-Sun distance. It's close enough for planetary defense systems to keep a careful eye on them. And that's exactly why we can relax. I mean, nobody has to lose sleep imagining an asteroid slamming into our planet. Every time scientists discover a new asteroid that comes anywhere near Earth, they track it and run the numbers right away. And then they map out its path years, decades, or even centuries into the future. And they don't do it by guesswork. NASA's automated systems, like Sentry, constantly scan the asteroid catalog and calculate whether any of these objects has even a small chance of hitting Earth over the next 100 years. If something looks risky, it jumps to the top of the watch list and gets followed up fast. So yeah, there are almost 2,000 near-Earth asteroids that technically have some chance of hitting us in the next 100 years. But don't panic. Most are small and harmless, hey, like me. And their odds of impact are usually way under 1%. See why I said we shouldn't stress too much? Cool. Now, sleep tight. Asteroids are a serious, very real danger. Some of them are big enough to cause a lot of trouble if they collide with Earth. One asteroid in particular is making headlines these days. A new study has revealed there's a small chance it could hit our planet during its close flyby in 2029. But the question is unusual. Will the asteroid survive this encounter? Apophis, which got its name from Apep, the Egyptian deity of chaos and disorder, has become one of the most infamous asteroids. Discovered in 2004, this space object is about 1,100 feet wide. It's about the height of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Because of its size and the close flyby predicted for 2029, astronomers classify Apophis as a potentially hazardous object. Those are asteroids and other space objects that pass close to Earth and are big enough that we really need to pay attention to them. Right now, scientists say the chances of a collision are slim, less than 1 in a billion. So at the moment, we can probably claim that Earth is out of danger. But the same can't be said about the asteroid itself. When Apophis passes close to Earth in 2029, our planet's gravity is likely to shake it so violently that it may experience something like an earthquake, a cosmic asteroid quake, if you will. The stress from this gravitational force will probably cause parts of the asteroid's surface to crack off and fly into space. And even though this might not be a full-blown disaster, and the asteroid won't fall apart completely, it's very likely to lose some material during the flyby. Some of this debris might just stick around in orbit, while other bits could fly off into deep space. Over time, this catastrophe could affect Apophis's rotation, causing it to spin differently or tilt in a way it hasn't before. And this is a phenomenon scientists are really interested in, because it could teach us a lot about how asteroids react when powerful gravity is pulling on them. Now, let's get back to Earth. Well, we haven't left. Anyway, even though the asteroid isn't big enough to wipe out the planet like the asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs, it's large enough to cause serious damage to a large city if it ever collided with Earth. It could mess with the climate all over the planet, too. At the moment, it looks like the space rock will sail past Earth at a distance of around 20,000 miles. It's still worryingly close, but far enough to avoid a collision. To put it in perspective, that's less than a tenth of the distance between Earth and the Moon. So while Apophis likely won't hit us, this flyby could still cause problems for some of the satellites orbiting Earth. They will be much closer to Apophis than we are. The key point is that we can't rule out a risk of a collision in a few more years. As Apophis gets closer, astronomers will keep a very close eye on its trajectory to make sure it doesn't veer off course due to the influence of Earth's gravity. In fact, this gravitational pull could actually cause some serious changes to the asteroid itself. Now, even though Apophis is not likely to cause a global disaster if it were to hit Earth, the consequences would still be pretty severe. The impact could destroy an entire city, and the resulting climate changes could mess with food production for years. It wouldn't be an extinction-level event, but it would still be a huge deal. Now, Apophis is not the only asteroid we need to worry about. Scientists are constantly on the lookout for other asteroids that could potentially cause harm to our planet. Thanks to new technology, astronomers can now track dangerous space rocks from way farther out in space. One cool new method they're using involves studying meteor showers. These showers are actually caused by long-period comets that have been orbiting the Sun for hundreds or even thousands of years. As these comets pass by, they leave a trail of dust and debris, which can end up creating meteor showers when Earth passes through them. Scientists analyze the properties of meteor showers, like their speed, direction, and where they come from. This can help them trace the particles back to their parent comet or asteroid. It's actually a big deal, because it means we might be able to spot potentially hazardous asteroids long before they get close to Earth. The upcoming Legacy Survey of Space and Time project, which is being run out of the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile, is going to help astronomers track these space rocks from even farther away. Astronomers are going to create a detailed map of the sky and the regions where meteor showers are most likely to occur. It'll help them predict which asteroids might become a problem for Earth in the future, giving us plenty of time to prepare or come up with a plan. But even now, there are many space rocks that can potentially cause a lot of trouble to our planet. Let's look at some of them. Here's the asteroid Bennu. Astronomers discovered it in 1999. This carbon-rich rock is about 1,600 feet across. It's the height of the Shanghai World Financial Center. Didn't you know that? At the moment, this asteroid is the greatest threat to Earth that we're aware of. But don't panic yet. The collision won't happen for a long time. In fact, scientists calculate a 0.037% chance, which is about 1 in 2,700, of Bennu striking Earth on September 24, 2182. I won't be around then. If Bennu does hit our planet, the impact would release so much energy that it would be enough to cause massive destruction in a large region. But luckily, it wouldn't wipe out the entire planet. Still, if Bennu hit a city, the consequences could be catastrophic. NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft has recently visited Bennu and returned with samples, so scientists are learning more about this asteroid all the time. The next asteroid is another one to keep an eye on. It was first discovered in 1950, but wasn't seen again until 2000. Right now, scientists say there's a very slim chance, 1 in 34,500, that it could hit Earth on March 16, 2880, 800 years into the future. So, am I worried? Nah. If it did strike, it would release so much energy it could lead to a global catastrophe, potentially wiping out humanity. Or not. Our next asteroid has been discovered only recently. It was spotted in October 2023. It has a very low chance of striking Earth on October 10, 2119. Man, they got it down to the day? Now, if it were to collide with our planet, the impact would release a lot of energy, which would have a devastating effect for large areas. So, while the arrival of this asteroid is a long shot, this asteroid is still worth keeping an eye on. Now, this asteroid is known as a lost asteroid because it hasn't been seen since 2007. No wonder, it has a very uncertain orbit, and we can't predict its movements. NASA says there's a tiny chance, about 1 in 10 million, that it could strike Earth on March 3, 2030. If it did, the energy released would be able to cause huge regional damage. Finally, we've got this space wanderer. On the one hand, it hasn't been seen since 1979. On the other, scientists believe that there's a very low chance that it could hit Earth on December 14, 2113. Mark your calendars. If it did, the impact would cause a lot of damage and devastation, but it would not lead to the end of humanity. Now, in any case, even though the chances of an asteroid hitting Earth are low, the consequences of such an event could be huge. That's why scientists are so focused on studying these space rocks and tracking their movements. Thanks to new technologies, we can track dangerous objects from farther away and catch them earlier. It can give us more time to react and come up with some effective solutions. A huge asteroid, several hundred feet across, is dashing towards Earth through the black nothingness of the cosmos. Ooh. Brace for the terrible news. There's a 72% chance it might hit Earth in 14 years, with potential impact zones being North America, Southern Europe, and North Africa, some of the most densely populated areas on the planet. Astronomers have been keeping a close eye on the space invader for a few months, but now it's moved too close to the Sun, and tracking it is impossible for the next 7 months. Of course, there's a 28% chance that it will miss our planet altogether. But what if it doesn't? Global devastation and destruction, that's what. Thousands of lives lost, billions and billions of dollars in damage, entire species wiped off the face of the Earth, ruined cities and towns, destroyed fields and forests. We're left wondering whether it's the future awaiting for us. Well, now you can breathe easy. That's just a hypothetical scenario created by NASA to prepare for a situation like this. The space agency has been thinking about this kind of disaster for years. Even cooler, they run what-if asteroid exercises every 2 years to get scientists, state agencies, and international experts on the same page. The last one occurred in April. Over 100 people took part in that event. During such asteroid drills, experts pretend that a giant space rock is heading our way. Then they work through all the tricky questions they can come up with, like how big is it? Where might it hit? What should we do? It's like a massive brainstorming session to make sure that if it ever happens, we won't have to start from scratch. To make these scenarios feel as real as possible, NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies gets involved. These are folks who track real asteroids and calculate their orbits. So they simulate months of asteroid observations, complete with uncertainties about its size, trajectory, and potential impact zones. It's the kind of uncertainty that makes decision-making way harder, just like it would be in real life. Now, if an astronaut really was aiming at Earth, it wouldn't be just one country's problem. It would be everyone's. That's why this exercise brings in international experts. In April, it happened for the first time. They worked alongside U.S. agencies like NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office and FEMA to understand how the world might respond to such a crisis, since an asteroid impact would have dire consequences globally. Now, the big question is, can we actually stop an asteroid from hitting Earth? Here, there are two main options experts consider. First, we could send a spacecraft to gather more info. If we knew more about the asteroid's size, mass, and orbit, we'd be able to make better decisions about what to do next. The second option is to try to deflect it. Basically, it means bumping the asteroid off its course so that it misses Earth. This might sound impossible, but NASA's DART mission has already proven that we can do it. 2 years ago, they crashed a spacecraft into a small asteroid called Dimorphos and successfully changed its orbit. It was a huge victory for planetary defense. But missions like that take tons of time to plan, prepare, and carry out. That's why spotting dangerous asteroids as early as possible is so important. Currently, NASA is working on a new telescope called NEO-Surveyor, which is set to launch in 2027. Unlike good old telescopes, NEO-Surveyor is designed to detect even the trickiest asteroids, including ones orbiting close to the Sun. It'll give us a better chance to act early and potentially stop an asteroid before it becomes a threat. If you still think that an asteroid impact is something out of science fiction and the threat isn't real, how about this? Early on Sunday, January 21st, a small asteroid about 3 feet wide entered Earth's atmosphere and luckily burned up over Germany. NASA's Scout Impact System spotted it 95 minutes before it hit and predicted exactly when and where it would arrive. At 1:32 a.m. local time, the asteroid turned into a blazing bright fireball, visible as far away as the Czech Republic. Some small meteorites might have landed near the impact site, about 37 miles west of Berlin. This is just the 8th time ever that an asteroid has been detected before it hit Earth. It's a splendid example of how tools like Scout are helping us track asteroids and prepare for anything bigger that might come our way. Here's another example. A small asteroid turned the skies over northeastern Siberia into a breathtaking light show on December the 4th, burning up harmlessly in Earth's atmosphere. The space rock, about 28 inches across, was spotted just hours before it hit. Thanks to observations from astronomers around the world, a special alert system managed to predict the impact to plus or minus 10 seconds. The asteroid entered Earth's atmosphere at 1:15 a.m. local time. The authorities were put on alert, but there was no damage reports. NASA's Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS, spotted the rock 12 hours before it entered the atmosphere. This makes it the 4th imminent impactor, which is an asteroid discovered within hours of its expected impact, detected this year, and the 11th overall. Now, China also has big plans for planetary defense. They're working on their first mission to hit an asteroid, and it's got a double purpose. One spacecraft will crash into the asteroid, and the other will hang back to study the whole thing for up to a year. In other words, it's not just about protecting Earth, it's also a way to learn more about the solar system. The target is an asteroid called 2015 XF261, which is a mouthful, and also about 100 feet wide. It flew by Earth recently on July 9, passing us at 31 million miles. True, it's pretty far away, but the space traveler was zooming by at a speed of 26,000 miles per hour, 30 times faster than the speed of sound. China is going to send a space probe to study the asteroid. They're hoping to learn more about its structure and composition, which could help us with future planetary defense missions. Then they plan to hit the asteroid with another spacecraft to test the impact, and the first space probe will stay there to observe the remains for up to a year. Timing is critical for this mission, and the asteroid offers some good opportunities in the next few years. Thus, in March and May of 2027, the asteroid will pass within 20 million miles of Earth. In April 2028, it'll get even closer. By that I mean 13 million miles away. A year later, in April 2029, the asteroid will end up just 4.2 million miles away, making it the best shot for a mission. Another decent chance will be April 2030. That's when the asteroid will pass our planet at 4.4 million miles. To give you some context, NASA's DART mission once targeted an asteroid 7 million miles away, and the trip took 10 months. So China's planners have to pick the right moment, depending on how long their spacecraft will need to get there. The mission is expected to start around 2027. At the same time, this won't be China's first attempt to target an asteroid. Back in 2023, they were planning a planetary defense test with a different asteroid, which is also about 100 feet wide. It's not clear why they switched to the current one, probably because the timing works better. Most asteroids are basically time capsules from 4.6 billion years ago, leftovers from when the solar system was just forming. Studying them could tell us a lot about how planets, including Earth, came to be. So, China's taking on something that combines planetary defense and pure space science. They're definitely making big moves in the space exploration game.
Imagine an asteroid so full of valuable metals that it could make every person on Earth a billionaire. Well, that's not science fiction. It's 16 Psyche, a massive metallic space rock orbiting the Sun between Mars and Jupiter. It isn't just extraordinary because of its value, estimated at $10 quintillion. That's a figure that dwarfs the global economy many times over. It also has clues about the formation of planets, especially the rocky worlds like Earth. In October 2023, NASA launched the Psyche spacecraft. This mission is to explore the cosmic treasure trove. It's supposed to arrive at the asteroid in August 2029, and astronomers hope that it will give us some insights, not just about the asteroid's glittering wealth, but also about how planets form and evolve in our solar system. But what exactly makes Psyche unique? First discovered in 1852 by an Italian astronomer, it was the 16th asteroid people identified, hence its name. It stands out among the millions of space rocks in the asteroid belt for one main reason: its metallic composition. While most asteroids are rocky or icy, Psyche seems to be made primarily of iron, nickel, and possibly even gold and other rare metals. At about 173 miles wide, it isn't the largest asteroid. It's easily dwarfed by others like Ceres. But its size is still impressive. After all, its surface area is 64,000 square miles, like that of the state of Florida. Astronomers think that between 30 and 60% of the asteroid's surface might consist of precious metals. They also think that this space rock might be the exposed core of a planetesimal. A planetesimal is basically a protoplanet, a large space body in orbit around a star, developing into a planet. And this planetesimal could have grown into a full-fledged planet if it hadn't been destroyed in some catastrophic collision billions of years ago. If this theory is correct, Psyche can give us a unique glimpse into what lies deep within terrestrial planets like Earth, where planetary cores are hidden thousands of miles beneath thick crusts and mantles. Now, remember that spacecraft that went to explore the asteroid? After embarking on its ambitious mission, the Psyche probe will travel a mind-boggling 2.2 billion miles to reach its goal. This journey will take nearly 6 years. On its way to the asteroid, the spacecraft will pass by Mars in May 2026 and use the red planet's gravity to slingshot itself deeper into space. This maneuver is called a gravity assist, and it will boost the velocity of the probe and refine its trajectory toward the asteroid. By the time it reaches its goal in August 2029, the spacecraft will be set to orbit the asteroid for at least 26 months. During this time, it will analyze its surface, figure out its composition, and attempt to unravel its history. The probe is equipped with some pretty cool tools. One of them is called a multispectral imager. This instrument will snap high-resolution images of the asteroid's surface. It's supposed to help astronomers to study its texture and composition. Then, the probe has a gamma-ray and neutron spectrometer. This instrument will measure the asteroid's chemical elements, including its metal content. A magnetometer will detect a magnetic field, if any, which could confirm Psyche's origin as a planetary core. And finally, an X-band radio system will help determine the asteroid's gravity field, which can offer insights into the asteroid's internal structure. NASA isn't sending the spacecraft to assess the value of the space rock as a mining target. Well, at least not yet. The main goal of the mission is science. Researchers hope to answer fundamental questions about how planets form and evolve. And this asteroid could help us understand what happens when molten material solidifies into a core. Another question we need to answer to is, Why did it fail to become a planet? And understanding the history of the asteroid might shed light on why some celestial bodies grow into planets while others don't. While NASA's mission is purely exploratory, it has also sparked interest from the point of view of asteroid mining. With its estimated worth of $10 quintillion, Psyche could theoretically supply enough raw materials to revolutionize industries on Earth. Mining it is likely to be decades away, if it ever happens altogether, but the idea still sounds amazing. At the same time, if the asteroid's metals were somehow brought to Earth, their abundance could cause the value of precious metals like gold to plummet, and it would wreak havoc on global markets. Speaking of valuable resources, let's find out how Earth got its own gold, platinum, and other rare metals. These elements, aka highly siderophile elements, have a cosmic origin story, and it's every bit as dramatic as Psyche's. These precious metals were born in violent cosmic events billions of years ago. Many appeared in kilonovae, explosive collisions between neutron stars. These metals were then scattered across space and eventually became part of the gas and dust cloud that formed our solar system. When Earth formed, those metals sank towards its iron-rich core, but not all of them ended up deep inside the planet. Destructive collisions with rogue protoplanets like the Mars-sized Theia, which most likely helped to form the Moon, trapped some elements in Earth's mantle. Recent computer models have explained how this happened. After each major collision, Earth's surface temporarily became a magma ocean, a molten layer of rock. As metals sank through the magma, they reached a partially solid layer that slowed their descent, keeping them in the mantle instead of the core. These metals then moved closer to the surface under the influence of thermal convection. That's what made them accessible for mining billions of years later. While Psyche's metals are all over the news, space has more to offer than just gold and iron. Scientists have discovered, or rather theorized, the existence of different gemstones scattered across the cosmos, like diamonds. The thing is, diamonds are made of pure carbon, and this element is abundant in the universe. On Earth, diamonds form deep in the mantle under high pressure and temperature. In space, conditions for diamond formation can occur in surprising places. For example, nanodiamonds, which are really tiny diamonds, have been found in meteorites. Sometimes they contain gases that give us clues about the early solar system. Scientists believe that it might rain diamonds on our ice giants, Neptune and Uranus. There, high pressures compress carbon into crystalline form. Researchers have also predicted that exoplanets in other solar systems could have gemstones like rubies and sapphires, depending on their size and proximity to their stars. Even Earth's moon had its own share of cosmic minerals. Scientists have found some traces of cubic zirconia in lunar rocks. So space might hold even more treasures than we've imagined. But let's get back to the Psyche mission. It might not only reveal the whole potential of space resources, but also underline the issues we could face while dealing with them. For example, mining an asteroid would require the usage of autonomous robots, machines capable of operating in harsh space environments. Plus, we would need efficient transport systems to bring materials back to Earth or process them in orbit. We would need to make sure that mining activities wouldn't damage ecosystems or space environments. There are also legal and ethical issues, like the Outer Space Treaty of 1967. It prohibits any nation from claiming sovereignty over celestial bodies. But with private companies entering the space race, debates over ownership and resource sharing are heating up. And finally, bringing such amounts of metals to Earth could destabilize global markets. So, experts suggest that space resources might be better used in space, for building habitats, satellites, and spacecraft. But no matter whether we ever mine 16 Psyche or not, its exploration will teach us more about the early solar system and the processes that shaped our planet. As of December 1st, 2024, the probe is heading for the asteroid, following the orbit around the Sun. Its journey promises not only to deepen our knowledge of the universe, but also to redefine what's possible for humanity as we reach for the stars.